Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dgmg podcast. My name is Zoe Lulinski, and today I'll be giving you guys my takeaways heading into Week 7 of the NFL season. Week 6 was a lot of fun to watch. There were a lot of eventful games and a lot of trades that just recently happened heading into Week 7 that I'll also be getting into. I'll be giving you guys my top 10, and again, just giving my takeaways, my thoughts heading into Week 7. Heading into the trades, Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Davante Adams was just traded to the New York Jets for a conditional third-round pick that can turn into a conditional second. I think this is showing that the Jets still believe they have a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, they're only one game back from the 7th seed right now, sitting at 2-4, third in their division right now. I personally don't see much changing they just fired Robert Saleh, and this past game against the Bills on Monday night, they really didn't look much different. Their running attack did improve, but their rushing defense is still struggling. Bills running back James Cook wasn't in. They had their backup Ray Davis playing, and he was able to run all over the Jets defense. So we'll see if this can jumpstart their team here coming up. So I'm really excited to see the Davante Adams, Garrett Wilson duo as well. I think they can be a top 5 duo in the league, especially with the Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers connection. Aaron Rodgers is looking a little washed up, so we'll see if this helps him at all. But I'm really excited to see where that goes and how the rest of the season plays out for the Jets. The Bills also made a trade. The Buffalo Bills traded for Cleveland Browns wide receiver Amari Cooper for a 3rd and 7th round pick that they sent to the Browns. The Bills also received a 6th round pick in the trade. This is also really good to see for the Bills. I think the Bills right now are the runaway favorite to win their division in the AFC East. The Jets, I really feel like, are the only other team that maybe stands a chance, but I don't know if their trade is going to make much of a difference. So we'll see. But this is a big trade for the Bills. Watching that Monday night game, I could see that the Bills were struggling in the passing game. Josh Allen just was not finding open guys. Guys weren't getting open for Josh Allen. So getting a receiver like Amari Cooper, the player he is, it's encouraging to see. They still have a pretty solid defense, really solid run game. So adding another receiver to help in the mix is really cool to see. They're first in their division right now at 4-2. So I think this is just another improvement to jumpstart that offense back up again. They started off really hot with a 3-0 start, and then lost to the Texans and Ravens back to back. So that was a solid pickup win for the Bills on Monday night in Week 6 against the Jets. And then this trade is even more helpful. Getting in my top 10, at number 1, I do have the Chiefs again. Number 2, the Lions moved up a bit. That offense looks scary, and I don't think any other team is going to want to play them. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery look insane. Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams. Laporta back. He's looking solid still. The offensive line is insane. That's a scary team to play against. It really hurts to see what happened to Aiden Hutchinson, so I wish him the best, and I hope he has a speedy recovery. We'll see if the Lions make any moves to get another pass rusher to help with that defense, but it's really exciting to see. Vikings, I have at 3. They were on the bye week, so there's not much to talk about there, but they're 5-0 and look insane. So Ravens at 4, Texans at 5. Then I have the Bucks and Bills at 6 and 7. Packers just lit up the Cardinals, and Jordan Love looks to be back at full health after his meniscus injury, so we'll see how he continues to improve. And then at 9 and 10, I have the Falcons and Commanders. The Commanders just recently lost to the Ravens, and their only teams that they played so far have a combined record of 7-17. So they look really good. They're one of the most hot offenses in the league right now. So Jaden Daniels looks awesome, and he's really, really fun to watch with his running abilities and him being a rookie. And then, the Falcons at 9 just beat the Buccaneers and look really good there. And then the Falcons at 9 just had a crazy game. So really fun to watch there. I personally can't put the Commanders any higher than 10 after seeing their game this week and then the Bears game. I think so many people have the Commanders so much higher, but think about it this way. The Bears have a top 3, top 5 defense in the league. Commanders' defense is average, maybe. And then the offenses both look to be showing improvement from last year. I do have the Bears in an honorable mention category along with the Niners and Steelers. I think any 3 of them by next week could be back in the top 10. I personally, the Commanders are too close to the Bears. Their type of improvement seems pretty identical to me, and I can't put the Commanders any higher at the moment. Just another thing, too, so I had the Eagles in the conversation. I was thinking about them, but, what's happening with the Eagles? Because Nick Sirianni is literally taunting his own fans, and they almost lost to one of the worst teams in the league in the Browns. They got their 2 starting receivers back in Davante Smith and A.J. Brown, so it's, I don't know, it's a little concerning to watch. I think the Nick Sirianni situation is one of the most idiotic things I've seen all week. So we'll see where they go, but to me right now they're just looking average, and I don't know how you would improve them at the moment right now, but they have some work to do with their culture. And leading into that, the few coaches I think are on the hot seat heading into around the mid-season of the NFL season. Nick Sirianni, the head coach of the Eagles, like I just mentioned. The product on the field and their record is not matching up. They're, I think, 3-2 right now, but, I mean, they're just not looking like the dominant Eagles they usually are. They can barely move the ball on offense against, Myles Garrett and the Browns defense is okay, but they aren't looking too great right now. And then they're playing the Giants next week, so I'm really excited to see that Saquon's revenge game. So I think we'll see how they do against that game. And then the next coach I have is Doug Peterson. If they weren't playing in London this week again, I think we would not be having this conversation. The other conversation we'd be having is the fact that Doug Peterson was just fired. Trevor Lawrence looks to be regressing. They had decently high expectations coming into the season, and they're sitting at 1 win, at 1-5 right now, playing the Patriots next week. So if they don't win against the Patriots, he's 100% fired once they get back to Jacksonville. They just look like they really don't have any spark on offense right now, and their defense is one of the bottom 5 in the league. So that's concerning to see. And I don't know if you guys saw that interview, but their safety, Andre Sisco, was talking about how they pretty much just practically gave up against the Bears, and that is not a winning culture. And I think that says something very concerning about a coach if his players are saying that type of thing. The next coach I have on the hot seat is Mike McCarthy. This is historically bad for the Cowboys. They haven't had a loss this bad at home since 1989 when Jerry Jones first got the team. Jerry Jones did say there's nothing wrong with Mike McCarthy, but who believes that? Come on. Mike McCarthy just lost at home to the Lions 47-9, and he's been outscored in the first half at home 110-35 this season. It's just absolutely horrible. The offense has no spark, and the defense, I know they're riddled with injuries, but it's just not the same Cowboys that they have been in the past few years. And then on the same topic, they didn't make any big moves at running back all offseason, and that's one of their biggest needs. And then they brought back Ezekiel Elliott, and that's showing. Tony Pollard, who they let go walk in free agency, is on the Titans and looking pretty solid. And then they have Ezekiel Elliott, who is not who he used to be. And then it was also just mentioned that Jerry Jones isn't planning to make any other moves by the trade deadline. So he's pretty much not making any big moves to improve the team. And the team that he's kept this whole time is not performing to Cowboy standards. Zach Taylor, I feel like, is a no-brainer. He's the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. There's no excuses. Last year, Joe Burrow was hurt for a while. Joe Burrow has been in all season, and they're 2-4. This is a team coming in with high expectations, similar to Kevin Stefanski, who's the head coach for the Browns. I think both these two teams came in with super high expectations and have 3 wins total with both those teams, and they're in a division that was expected to be one of the best in the league. The culture for the Bengals seems lackluster. The defense has played very poorly lately, and It's just something needs to be changed. An honorable mention I have is Dave Canales. I know he's a first-year coach, but his decision-making, I feel like so far this season in the players and, like, his interviews, it's been a bit questionable. Putting in Bryce Young at the end of the Bears game a couple weeks ago so that Andy Dalton doesn't get hurt seems like a really interesting move given the situation. And he's just been making a lot of questionable mistakes, and he's been saying questionable things in press conferences, so we'll see how that goes too. Lastly, I don't know if you guys are aware, but the Bears versus Commanders Week 8 game has just recently been announced. It's flexed to 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time. They were previously at the 1 p.m. slate, but they're switching with the Eagles and Bengals game. I'm super excited for this game. I mean, it's the rookie quarterback matchup with Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. Both these quarterbacks have been absolutely lights out after their first 6 weeks. And again, it's only been 6 weeks, so no overreactions here, okay? Caleb Williams has been playing great, improving every week. Jaden Daniels has also been great and playing very well. I mean, especially after that Ravens game, he showed he's legit. And so I'm not going to compare these guys, but it seems like everyone else is, and I think it's kind of stupid. I mean, I understand why, but the excuses and things you guys are saying to compare these guys is not right. Like, there's other ways to compare these guys. And then what my biggest question with this too is, what's with all the excuses for why a player is playing well? Caleb Williams just came off the best game of his career after the week before being the best game of his career, and all you guys can say is, oh, they were bad teams, bad defenses. Okay, well, you can say the same thing about Jaden Daniels, where the combined record of the teams he did beat are 7-17. The combined record for the teams Caleb Williams has beat are 4-20. It's the same general category. The Bears' offense is doing what they should do against bad teams. A good team will blow out a bad team, and that's what's been happening the last few weeks with the Bears. I'm not going to go out and be like, okay, he's playing, oh my God, he's so good. He's played really well, but they were against bad teams. So, yes, they're against bad teams, but he did what he's supposed to do against bad teams. And then the argument's saying, okay, well, that's why he's not good. But Jaden Daniels has been the same situation. He's playing the Browns, the Bengals, the Giants. All these teams have bad defenses. The Ravens were one of the first actual good defenses he played, and he did show he's a legit quarterback. But I don't think it's enough to say either of them are better than the other. It's been 6 weeks for both of them in the NFL, and they're both playing really well, and I'm really excited to see them go up against each other in Week 8. I also blame a lot of this on C.J. Stroud last year. C.J. Stroud was the second overall pick last year in the NFL draft and played insanely well. Now I feel like everyone expects every rookie quarterback to play like he did, but that just doesn't happen a lot. I mean, look at every other, it usually takes a while. Josh Allen took about 3 years to actually play well, and then most of the quarterbacks take a little while to sit and develop. So the C.J. Stroud situation is an anomaly, and then Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, they're playing really well, and it's really cool and exciting to see. So that's my opinion on it all. Don't get me going, obviously. I think I kind of lost track of where I was, but that's it for the episode today. I don't know if I mentioned already, but I am going to try to get a couple guests on here soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.